So again, welcome to this YouTube channel, and I hope that at least one of the strategies we're about to share resonates with you and makes a difference in your life. Remember, take at least one bold step towards your goals. And be sure to watch the entire webinar, not only because we offer lots of great tips and advice, but because I also make a special offer.
The other thing I would suggest is to research and to analyze. So Christa mentioned over preparation. And while over preparation can lead to burnout, it can lead to almost a self-fulfilling prophecy of failure, where you work yourself to the bone and therefore you aren't able to perform optimally. And then it kind of reinforces what the imposter syndrome was saying. Now, we don't want to get to that level. However, often what can be very useful is preparing. Preparation is key, and it can ensure that you gather all the relevant information and that you process it, right? This means that even the fact that you've signed up for this webinar this evening, you've raised your hand, you showed up for yourself, and you said, this is something that I need a little help with. I want to hear what they have to say because maybe there's something useful. So researching, getting access to resources, whether it's courses, whether it's handouts, whether it's, an Instagram page like Christa's, you want to make sure that you are accessing the information that can help you to cope on an ongoing basis. But again, another caution, you want to absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and add what is uniquely your own. And I'm going to repeat that because it's so very important. You want to absorb what is useful, discard what it is not, and add what is uniquely your own. And I want to stress that point because no one has all the answers. And even as Christa and I are sharing response strategies and the growth mindset and all these things, different things will work for different people. And you have to identify which tools in the toolkit are best suited to your needs. And sometimes we tell ourselves that the expert has all the answers, but I'm here to tell you tonight that no, the expert does not necessarily have all the answers. What they may have is some experience. What they may have is, think of it as a toolkit, some tools that may be useful to you. But I want to encourage you to be part of your own solution by, working through what is presented to you with a critical mind. Next, appreciate your real value. So one of the reasons that sometimes we struggle with imposter syndrome is because we're holding ourselves to a standard that nobody asked for. We are valuing ourselves by a measure that isn't the right one. The value you have to offer as a person is not in your qualifications. It's not in the years of experience you have. It's in what you can give. It's about the transformation that you can offer your clients. It's about the true, genuine empowerment that you can give to the vulnerable community that you serve. It's about impacting the lives that you seek to impact. That is your real value. So you may be measuring yourself in terms of qualifications, in terms of years of experience, in terms of, social media followers, whatever is that metric that you're using. If it's not impact, you're measuring yourself by the wrong measure. So when you're measuring yourself by all of these things, that it goes back to that first point I made, that it's not who you are that's holding you back, it's who you think you're not, right? So as long as you have enough information to impact that one life, or you have enough knowledge to facilitate a transformation for your client, for your colleague, for your customer, that is the value. And you need to recognize that value. So that goes back again to celebrating small wins, to acknowledging your value in a real way. And as an associated strategy, I want to encourage you to be prepared to work backwards. Remember what I said earlier about being focused on the journey rather than the destination. So sometimes when we set a goal and we're focused on the destination, as I mentioned earlier, it can be demotivating to constantly think about how much further you need to go. But in terms of goal setting, I like to encourage my clients to work backwards from where they want to be. So that may look like saying, all right, this is what I want to achieve. What would it look like just before that? What do I need to get there? And what do I need to get to the step just before that? And where was I just before that? So once you start to work backwards from the goal, you have, in my opinion, a far more focused pathway to achieving the goal, because you're taking it one step at a time, but in a way that is less focused on the destination and more focused on the little milestones on the way to the destination. So I want to encourage you to try. I mean, this strategy might not work for everyone, but it certainly is one of the more effective strategies for me to try to reverse engineer the success that you're chasing. Work backwards from the goal and see if it makes you feel different. You know, again, thinking about that duck and that rabbit, you know, your perspective can sometimes be a very powerful tool. Remember, thoughts become things. So if it is that you're struggling with the current way that you're mentally approaching some of your, maybe your business, your work, maybe your personal life, it may help to kind of take a different perspective and kind of reorient your approach to see if there is a different way you can approach it, not necessarily better, but a different way that could help you to kind of shake off and silence or at least quiet those voices. And finally, your work speaks for itself. So I want to leave you with this one in particular, because remember that definition of imposter syndrome that Christa gave, as well as the definition of imposter syndrome that I shared. You feel the way you feel despite evidence to the contrary. And as a coping mechanism, I think it's important for you to actively call on your results, on your impact, on the feedback you receive. Call on that evidence when it's time to address that voice. Pay attention to those important indicators, because if everyone is telling you you're doing an excellent job, if you are seeing success, if you're seeing sales, if people are coming to you for help, if you're getting the type of feedback and a certain type of feedback and engagement, then you're doing a good job. So you have to kind of trust yourself that you're doing that which you were created to do, and that you are achieving the things that you set out to do. You know, the reality is that you've done it. You know, you've presented at webinars before. You've delivered on your KPIs. You've achieved the things that everything that you are scared to achieve, chances are you've done it before. So reminding yourself of that past success, you know, counting your blessings, acknowledging your success is a really important strategy as well. I want you to recognize that you are not navigating imposter syndrome alone. There's an entire world of people, professionals, tradesmen, students, that are all navigating the same problem. It might manifest differently, but there are definitely coping mechanisms that you can use. And I want to encourage you to reach out, whether you feel like you need to reach out for therapy, for that kind of assistance, or whether you feel from the business perspective, you need help from a business coach. I want you to reach out. Even if it means reaching out to a family member or friend, please do not feel that you have to navigate this alone. Now, you can stay in contact with me, stay connected with me via several social media platforms. I'm Sade Jemmott Consulting on Instagram and Facebook, Sade Jemmott on LinkedIn and Twitter, And I've recently started a YouTube channel where I hope to share the replay of this webinar very soon. And I want to encourage you, and Christa will share very shortly the next steps. So I won't preempt her in terms of the next steps, but I want to encourage you to take a big step, take a bold step. Even if not a big step, take a bold step. Think of one thing that you have not been doing or you did not do because of imposter syndrome. Something that you are not pursuing, something you haven't published, something you haven't shared, something you haven't completed because of imposter syndrome. And take a step towards it, towards that goal. I want to take this opportunity to offer you a 50% off discount for my Getting Started Barbados bundle or individual courses in that bundle. And essentially what it is a step-by-step guide that covers the registration of a business, as well as tax considerations, practical tips, basically a little toolkit for starting your business in Barbados, so you don't have to navigate it with confusion or figure it out on your own. And if it is that you've been hesitating about starting your business, or perhaps formalizing it a little bit more if it's already registered, this is one opportunity for you to take that bold step towards your goal.
Yes, so thank you so very much, Sade. And one of the things, when we were talking about the webinars, we did discuss Sade having, all these tools, and sometimes we need somebody to keep us accountable. So we have this idea, and part of it is really not knowing sometimes how to implement this idea. And so that's where Sade comes in. So for those who are entrepreneurs, I really want to encourage you to reach out to Sade as well, because she's amazing, and it takes a lot of the hard work out of starting a business. As Sade was saying, you showed up for yourself, and that's really the first step, showing up for yourself. And I hope you continue to show up for yourself, and we're here to help you. So as you follow our pages as well, we will keep you updated, but we want you to be accountable. And so when you go on Sade's page, when you go on Incubator X or Soul Insight, you will see a series, a 7-day challenge that we put up the last time. And I want you to also commit to doing that challenge. So you'll see Unmasking Imposter Syndrome 7-day challenge. So what we really want you to do is to go do that challenge, and you'll find it to be quite enlightening and help you kind of refocus. And we use some of the words that we use in this webinar.
And before I go, I want you to meet my main reason why. This is Journey. Journey, say hello. Say hello, baby. Say hello. Journey. Who's that? Who's that? And before we go, I just want you to meet Journey. He is my main reason why. One of the things that's really useful in getting on the right track in business, even in your personal life, is identifying your motivation, your reason why. Why are you getting up in the morning? Why are you doing everything that you're doing? He's the reason why this YouTube is a reality now, as opposed to all the other times I thought of it. Baby, say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Give them a smile. Give them a smile. Let us see the baby smile.